Welcome back to How to Save Like a Mennonite, and I'm Rachel, the Mennonite Miser, and today we'll be talking about home remedies. So home remedies can be a lot of fun. Some of these were used on very serious conditions, so I cannot advise you to use any of these. In fact, I would really advise you to talk with your doctor before trying any of these out and remaining under a doctor's care, because some of my ancestors didn't have access to immediate medical care and had to use these for some really serious conditions. So the first one that I'm going to cover is called Sin of Misery Tea. And that's because it was a sin to make it and misery to drink it. That's because you take two pieces of toast and you burn them in the toaster fairly deeply, and then you scrape off the burnt part into a cup, pour boiling water over it, and drink it. After it's cooled down a little bit, of course. And this really was pretty bad to drink. I don't remember if it actually helped with stomach aches, and I no longer use this now because now we can buy activated charcoal, which was obviously what they were trying to accomplish with some sort of charcoal type of thing. I don't know if scientifically that would have even worked. The charcoal that we buy now is activated, and I don't know if this would have been activated charcoal. I'm not sure. If you know anything about that, or if you've tried this remedy, I'd like to know. I've never heard anybody else having to drink sin of misery tea. So another one that we tried that we used with stomach problems, there was a tonic that we could buy. This was actually one of those tonics that you can't get anymore. And it was made from wild strawberries. It had a high amount of alcohol in it, but you would only take about a teaspoon. So you didn't feel any effects from the alcohol, but it really stopped the stomach ache. This stuff was amazing. They've since changed the formula, and it's more of a milky product now. So I can't really say how it works or not, but we really do miss the old tonic. Of course, we all tried the honey lemon teas and the chamomile teas. We did do those quite frequently. The honey and lemon is wonderful. I'm sure that all of us have tried that. Another one that is really, really helpful, if you get a splinter or something of that nature stuck in your skin, you can make up a paste with honey and flour. So you just take honey from, like your supermarket, just regular, but you have to make sure that it actually is honey. Some of the cheap stores, the one where you can buy very, very, very cheap items, they've looked into some of the honey and discovered that there was some corn syrup in there as well that shouldn't have been there. So you want to just get regular honey for that. Real honey. And you mix it up with the flour until it just regular old all-purpose flour. You don't want the flour with pre-rising everything in it. And you mix it up until it's like a paste. And you put it on the area, cover it with a Band-Aid overnight, and the next morning it just has come right up to the surface. This is unfail. This works amazing. So my ancestors did use this. They had one of the children who fell through a stovepipe hole in, it was either the barn or some building, I'm not sure. This was a long time ago. Many children, they had like 10 kids running around, and this one somehow was crawling around and fell all the way through, hit something on the ground, and actually developed some sort of sepsis. It was so bad that the child was unconscious for a while, and they put the honey and flour on it because they were really, really frightened. And it drew out the infection. Each day they would take it off, and you could, see it on the bandage. And the child grew up, and now they're one of my relatives. So it's a true story. I do not recommend this. I recommend absolutely in situations like that, you remain under doctor's care. They did not have that, however, and this really, really worked. Again, make sure that it is pure honey. They had access to pure honey, of course. This has also worked on a current relative who was suffering from a mild case of MRSA infection on a single digit on one of their fingers. If this is your case, again, please stay under doctor's care. However, they needed some additional help, and they took a stronger course of honey. This was a Manuka honey. This is very effective. I believe in that type of thing. You can do a lot of research on your own. I would encourage you to see. They are doing research on that with wounds that have become infected after surgery and are not they're not responding to antibiotics because they're antibiotic resistant. There is a lot of that, unfortunately, in the world right now. And you can do your own research on that before taking any measures. It's very serious, and like I said, some people have used these on serious conditions. I can't advocate that, but at any rate, it's good to research honey. Honey actually does have the properties, and I've seen it work. The person with that MRSA used that on their finger, and it was gone in 2 weeks, and they have remained MRSA free ever since. So that's pretty amazing. So anyway, other things that we used are, for canker sores, for instance, we would use alum, A-L-U-M. This is a spice. When you put it on your mouth or your tongue or in your cheek, it just takes away all your saliva, and it feels like you've been sucking on 100 lemons at once. I no longer use this. I now use either hydrogen peroxide or just continue with salt water. The alum, maybe I was coerced into that when I was a child and didn't have a choice, but now that I'm an adult, I wouldn't do that again. Very, very harsh. Other things, ginger for upset stomachs, and of course baking soda, but you have to be careful of that if you're on a low sodium diet or you don't want to ingest that much sodium. So these are just a few that we used. We even used some on our cats. We did feed them the brewer's yeast for the fleas, and actually it did help. It's hard to tell. We even rubbed it on their fur a little bit, and experimented a little bit with garlic powder. I'm not sure if our cats appreciated that very much, but I think it did help. Boric acid, if they got eye infections, we would mix that up as prescribed on the bottle, and that really did help a lot of cats. Cats who live in barns can get a lot of eye infections and things like that. So post your own if you have used some of these, or if you have some just to share. I know there are so many out there, and some people really swear by them and some people don't. So again, please talk to your doctor before using any of these or trying any of these. And I really look forward to hearing the ones that you've tried and felt were successful as well.